Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm cracking a pack. Today is pack number 4 in the Magic the Gathering Core Set 2014 Fat Pack Bingo. Check out my preview video for the explanation on how the Core Set 2014 Fat Pack Bingo will work. I've added the link to my Core Set 2014 Fat Pack Bingo preview video in the description below. So as a reminder, here is a review of my bingo card. Nothing so far, 3 packs in, and we've got one Shadowborn Apostle, so we need another to mark that off. I'll mark the free square off once I'm able to mark one of the other ones off. So as I go ahead and open the pack, my commentary will be very focused from a very casual Magic player viewpoint. I think it's a very unique spin on rating Magic cards. After I open the pack, I'm going to choose the best card of the pack. Maybe you might agree, or maybe you won't, but at least it will be fun. Okay, we're on pack number 4. As you can see, I still have 5 through 9 waiting to go. So let's see if we can mark off one of those bingo squares, and if so, we'll be able to mark off the free spot as well. All right. First card out of the pack, Claustrophobia, 1 and 2 blue. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Claustrophobia enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. I like Claustrophobia quite a bit. I like similar effects in blue, where you can tap down a creature and it doesn't untap. If I were going to go with enchantments that I like doing this sort of thing, I'm more in the line of Oblivion Ring or Banishing Light. But for blue, where you're not really exiling things, but you're controlling them, tapping down their bomby creature works out pretty well. I like Claustrophobia, and similar type effects like Water Knot and others reprints. Marauding Maul, 4 mana, 2 and 2 red, 5/3. It's a beast. Marauding Maul attacks each combat if able, unless you control a creature named Advocate of the Beast. Within set, these are pretty cool, but if you've got to control Advocate of the Beast, it becomes a very parasitic card, meaning playing it without Advocate of the Beast doesn't make any sense at all. So even on just its face value, if I didn't have Advocate of the Beast and I had a 5/3 that is attacking every turn, I mean, that's like a Juggernaut or similar type effects. And Juggernaut's less restrictive because it's colorless mana, and I can play it in just about every deck. So I don't know that I'd be too exciting about Marauding Maul. Next card, Corpse Hauler. 2 mana, 1 and a black, human rogue. It's a 2/1. You can pay 3 mana, 2 and a black, sacrifice Corpse Hauler, return another target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So similar effect to Grave... what's the name of that card? My mind just... Gravecrawler? No, not Gravecrawler. I wish I could remember. It's an uncommon for 4 mana. It's a zombie. You choose target creature card in your graveyard, bring it back to your hand. This one's a little more expensive. This one comes into the battlefield. You got to sacrifice it to get that card. Whereas the other card, and I wished I could remember its name, remains on the battlefield and grabs a card from your graveyard to your hand. So I would much prefer to play the other one than this. Can't believe I can't remember. It's Grave something. Well, there you go. Suntail Hawk, 1 white mana. You get a bird. That's a 1/1 flyer, and that's it. Not anything that I'd be actively playing because there are other white creatures that have added abilities than just flying for 1 mana that do a pretty good job. Messenger Drake, 5 mana, 3 and 2 blue. You get a 3/3 flyer. When Messenger Drake dies, draw a card. I had the opportunity to review this in one of the previous packs. I'm big on this card if it has an enter the battlefield ability. If it's got a die, then I draw a card. It's okay, but I'm not as excited as something that will enter the battlefield and draw me a card, or enter the battlefield and return a creature to its owner's hand, like a Misthaven type effect. So not a blue flyer that I'm too excited about. Siege Mastodon, 5 mana, 4 and a white. You get a 3/5 elephant with vanilla text. Even in my most, I'm going to stall you out on the ground and beat you in the air with flyers, this is not a common that I'm actively looking to play in a deck. Next common is Spore Mound, 5 mana, 3 and 2 green. It's a fungus. At 3/3, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token onto the battlefield. I've played a couple of Saproling decks. There's one that I play out of Dominaria that I really like. This one falls off a little bit for me because it kind of has the landfall ability, but at the top end of the curve where I'm playing a 5-mana creature, I'm going to be playing like Tendershoot Dryad. So I need a rare with a little bit of punch and not necessarily a common that doesn't do too much for me other than, I mean, the landfall ability is really nice, but I need something a little bit more powerful. Okay, next card, Death Gaze Cockatrice. 4 mana, 2/2 black. It's a Cockatrice, it's a 2/2 flyer, and it has Death Touch. And it's not too bad of a creature. I mean, you only get a 2/2 power out of it and toughness, but it's a flyer, it's got Death Touch. It's going to take down anything big on the ground or anything big in the air. I don't know that I've got anything similar to it in any of my decks. Typically with black in my decks, I'm not running flyers. I'm running creatures that have different sort of enter the battlefield effects or you know, better abilities. But I don't know. Death Gaze Cockatrice could be something that I play. Next common is Active Treason. 3 mana, 2/1 red, sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. So getting a few repeats in a couple of previous packs. I reviewed Active Treason. I like it. I've played it in a blue-red spells deck where I've got different threaten effects. So I'm going to grab your creature. I'm going to hit you with it. I'll probably sacrifice it to get another ability. I played it in a deck where I had Scarscale Ritual. It's a card out of either the Lorwyn or let's see, Eventide, Morningtide, Shadowmoor block, where I would grab your creature, hit you with it, play Scarscale Ritual, sacrifice the creature that I stole, and draw 2 cards out of it. So pretty cool effect. Wild Guest. It's 2 red for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Wild Guest, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Unfortunately, this loses out to Faithless Looting. If I'm going to do kind of the rummaging effect like this card's going to do, I'm looking for more of a Faithless Looting impact. And so Faithless Looting being a common is relatively easy to get and play in decks. I don't know that I've ever played Wild Guess. Usually I just go and grab a Faithless Looting and play with it. Okay, our first uncommon, Woodborn Behemoth. 5 mana, 3/2 green. It's an elemental. It's at 4/4. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Woodborn Behemoth gets +4/+4 and has trample. So in a green deck, I might get to 8 lands, but more than likely in a green deck, I'm mana ramping. So if I'm mana ramping, I'm going to get this out earlier, but it's going to be very unlikely that it gets the +4/+4 because I'm utilizing, you know, Mystic Elf or Arbor Elf or, sorry, Elvish Mystic or Llanowar Elf, Paradise Druid. I'm going to be using cards that are going to ramp me versus getting lands onto the battlefield. So unless I'm doing some sort of like explosive vegetation where I'm getting lands out and putting them in as a source of mana ramping, I don't know that this is an uncommon that I play that much. Next uncommon, Tenacious Dead. For 1 black, you get a Skeleton Warrior that's a 1/1. When Tenacious Dead dies, you may pay 1 and a black. If you do, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So I've played with a card similar to this where I'll sacrifice it on blocks, and then I'll pay the mana to return it to the battlefield. Hopefully I've got enough mana that I'm able to pay that at the end of my opponent's end step, so on my turn it untaps and I've got it ready to go again. I do like this effect, though it's relatively easy to get a play set, or it was to get a play set of like Bloodsoaked Champion or Dread Wanderer. Those cards have gone up in value, so you know, a card like Tenacious Dead does have a little bit of value to it. Final uncommon is Elixir of Immortality. 1 generic. You have an artifact that you can pay 2 generic, tap it, you gain 5 life, and then you shuffle it into your graveyard into their owner's library. So this is one of the uncommons that does have a little bit of value. For a while, this particular uncommon was around $1. It's been reprinted in a few sets, so its value is still around 75 cents. I really haven't played this card too much, though it's something that I would play against a couple of my friends' mill decks, to where I could have this on the battlefield, and as they get close to milling me out, I pay the 2, tap it, gain 5 life, and then shuffle it and my graveyard into my library. So I could see this card having some utility into it as like a sideboard card. The only difference is that in our play group, the 4 of us, we don't use sideboards too often. So unless I know that I'm going to be playing against one of my friends' mill decks, you know, it's not a card that I'm just going to stick into a deck just in case I play against it. So, you know, if you're playing a casual deck and you play sideboards quite frequently, this is a good sideboard card. Terra Rare, are we going to be able to mark off one of these things? I'm hoping so, because thus far 4 packs into it, it's a bummer. Okay, our rare is Indestructibility. Well, unfortunately, we will not. So for 4 mana, 3 and a white, you get an enchantment aura. Enchant permanent. Enchanted permanent has Indestructible. So that's kind of a nifty effect. It's, you know, the thing about it is paying 4 mana, placing it onto a creature. It gives that creature Indestructibility, but you are still susceptible to being blown out. So you think you've got this really cool creature that's indestructible. You're blocking, you're attacking, you're having a lot of fun. All it takes is one time you go in for a block or attack. You think you're going to make it through with your big creature, and they bounce this aura back to your hand, or they kill your aura, and then you are going to be pretty sad because you've lost your aura, and there's a really good chance that you just lost your creature as well. So it's not something that I've ever been really interested in playing. I suppose that it has its uses. Trying to find, you know, like a current value on it, I can't imagine it having a ton of value. I mean, it's $1.35 on TCG Player right now. So, I mean, there's something. So maybe there's some sort of shenanigan I'm missing on it, but it's not a card that I'm actively excited about playing or even sticking into a deck. So we've got a mountain and then, oh, a sliver token card. So the best card out of the pack, or what I think is the best card out of the pack, I'm going to go with Tenacious Dead. So I've played enough decks where this is a really fun card that, you know, you can utilize it to block, return to the battlefield. It just becomes a perpetual blocker. If you set it up right, they can kill it. Okay, you return to the battlefield to use it to block. It works really well in black-white sacrifice decks. It's got a ton of utility there. I think out of this particular pack, this would be my favorite card. One that I definitely have played, and one that I'd look to play in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time in the comment section to tell me what was your favorite or best card out of the pack. Until next time when I crack pack number 5 in the Magic the Gathering Core Set 2014 Fat Pack Bingo.